Hi dear students, in comprehensive learning, we are going to introduce the basics of highway engineering. Myself Krishna Priya MG, Assistant Professor, Department of Civil Engineering, Christ College of Engineering, Iringalkuda. So, in this part 1, we are going to discuss some basic questions which is usually asked for PRC, SSC or GATE exams. So the first question is, camber in the road is provided for. That is, for what we are providing camber. So first we want to know what is a camber. So camber is nothing but the slope which we provided for a pavement in the transverse direction. The central point of the pavement will be always at a higher level compared to its endpoints, so that there will be a slope in both directions, and the camber is provided for the drainage of water. So the options here given are effective drainage, counteracting the centrifugal force, having proper side distance, and none of the above. And the correct answer is option A, effective drainage. The second question is, the stopping side distance depends on. Stopping side distance means the distance required for a driver to stop the vehicle on seeing a vehicle which is coming in the opposite direction or seeing some object. So the driver want to stop the vehicle before hitting that object or before hitting another vehicle. And that stopping side distance depends on total reaction time of the driver, speed of the vehicle, and also efficiency of the brakes. Okay, so from this option, the correct answer is option D, all of the above. The next question is, compared to a level surface on a descending gradient, the stopping side distance is. So if we compare a level surface and a descending gradient, the stopping side distance will be less, more, or the same. That is the question. And descending gradient means we are traveling from a higher level to a lower level, and obviously when we are traveling through a descending gradient, the driver will be able to see a long stretch of the road. So the stopping side distance will be always more compared to a level surface. So the answer is option B, more. The fourth question is, the terrain may be considered as rolling terrain if the cross slope of land is. So when we consider terrain, the terrains are mainly classified into 4: plain terrain, rolling terrain, mountainous terrain, and steep terrain. So if the cross slope is up to 10%, it is known as plain terrain. If it is up to 10 to 25%, it is known as rolling terrain. If it is between 25 to 60%, it is known as mountainous terrain, and if it is greater than 60%, it is called as steep terrain. So the correct answer for the question 4 is option B, between 10 to 25%. Okay, the design speed, the gradient to be provided, everything depends upon the cross slope of the terrain. Okay, the fifth question is the desirable length of overtaking zone as per IRC recommendation. So the desirable length of overtaking zone depends upon the overtaking side distance, which is called as OSD. And as per IRC recommendation, the desirable length of overtaking zone is 5 OSD, and the minimum length of overtaking zone should be 3 OSD. So here the correct answer is option D, 5 OSD. Coming to next question, the coefficient of friction is less when pavement surface is. We all know friction is a surface characteristics, and the value of friction may vary depending upon the surface conditions. So here the options given are rough, dry, smooth and wet. And the answer is option D, smooth and wet. Okay. The next question is seventh one. Stopping sight distance is, when we calculate the stopping sight distance, its relation with overtaking sight distance is asked in the question. It is less than OST or greater than OST or equal to OST and or none of the above. The correct answer is always the stopping sight distance. Stopping sight distance is the distance required for a driver to stop the vehicle, and overtaking sight distance is the distance required for a driver, or the length of the road required for a driver to overtake a slow moving vehicle in front of the driver. Okay, so obviously the stopping sight distance will be always less than overtaking sight distance. So the correct option is option A, less than OST. Coming to the next question, as per IRC recommendation, the maximum limit of super elevation for mixed traffic plain terrain is. So for plain terrain and mixed traffic, the maximum super elevation recommended by IRC is 1 in 15. Correct option is option A. The next question, for the design of super elevation for mixed traffic condition, the speed is reduced by. So, if we know how to design the super elevation for a pavement, we know we are taking 75% of the speed for design of super elevation. Okay, so we can say the speed is reduced by 25%. So the correct option is option C, 25%. So we are reducing the original speed by 25%, and then we are using it for the design of super elevation. The last question is, the camber of the rod should be approximately equal to. Here we are going to discuss the relationship between the longitudinal gradient and the camber of a pavement. And the options are longitudinal gradient itself, 2 times longitudinal gradient, 3 times longitudinal gradient, and half the longitudinal gradient. The correct answer is the camber should be approximately equal to half the longitudinal gradient. So the correct option is option D. Thank you for listening. We can discuss other questions from highway engineering in next series of videos.